What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome to Indianapolis Colts Syndicate, where today we got to talk about the Colts running back situation. The last thing we touched on this channel was when Jonathan Taylor requested his trade. Since that point, a lot has happened. Okay, Jim Irsay, soon after that point of Jonathan Taylor, or at least the news coming out of Jonathan Taylor requesting his trade, Jim Irsay made sure to let the media know about 9:30 that night that the Colts would not be trading Jonathan Taylor. And then fast forward, the next day comes out Jonathan Taylor is being considered for the NFI, which is a non-football injury list in the NFL. And if the Colts decide to do that, that means they don't have to pay Jonathan Taylor if he doesn't play. And his 2023 contract year would just move to 2024. So it wouldn't even matter. So if he's on NFI, 2023 doesn't even happen. It just moves straight to 2024, right? So with the news of that coming out, it looked like, okay, the Colts just backed Jonathan Taylor into a corner. There's no way he's going to be able to get around playing on his contract this year. And then Jonathan Taylor goes on Twitter to let the world know that he never complained of back problems. He never reported back problems. He doesn't know where that comes from. And he told whoever came up with that report to get new sources. Now, everything that's happened is uncharacteristic of Jonathan Taylor. So to see everything evolve to this point is kind of wild. I'm not going to lie. Like, I never thought that the situation with Jonathan Taylor would ever get to this point. You know, there's some reports of him being toxic in the building, but then you hear Deion Jackson talk about the situation in his press conference after practice on Monday. And he was saying that Jonathan Taylor is still, in the running back meetings. He's still in the locker room. He's still around the guys and that he's still being a good teammate, even though he's not able to be on the field. Shane Steichen continues to say that once Jonathan Taylor is healthy, he'll be on the field. So at this point, like, what is real and what's not? Is Jonathan Taylor actually injured? Is there any injury? We know he had the surgery and he's still trying to get back from the surgery. At least that's what they're saying. Is he actually hurt? Or is it all because of the contract situation and there's just an understanding, okay, we'll put you on PUP, have you still come in the building? So right now, that's where we sit with Jonathan Taylor. There's no telling if he's going to play for the Colts, but there's also no reports that he's not going to play for the Colts this year. So again, not sure what to think with Jonathan Taylor. We will continue to monitor that situation, of course. Okay, now looking at other running backs. In Monday's practice, Zach Moss unfortunately left with an injury. That injury ended up being a broken arm for Zach Moss, which is really unfortunate, right? You look back to what he did in 2022 after he got traded to the Colts and he was thrusted into some action. He looked pretty good, and it was good enough that there are a lot of Colts fans honestly excited to have him be the guy that was supposed to be behind Jonathan Taylor in the rotation. And with the fact that Jonathan Taylor wasn't in practice, no telling if he's going to play for the Colts this year, Zach Moss is in a position where he can have a starting role. Now, this injury is only taking him about 6 weeks, so it's not like a season ending. I know, I'm kind of talking like it is, but this was a huge opportunity for Zach Moss to get a lot of reps as a starter and to show what he was going to be able to do, and he was going to have an opportunity to start week 1. Now, if he's a fast healer and a tough guy, which I'm sure he is, then maybe there's a chance he plays week 1. But at this moment, the 6-week frame would put him after the week 1 window. So unfortunately, Zach Moss also not going to be practicing anytime soon. And of the guys that we really need to talk about, we're left with Deion Jackson, who we've seen before and did great when he got thrusted into his starting role, and Evan Hull, a guy that we mentioned a couple times on this channel. And with the way the Colts running back situation looks, Evan Hull is being thrown into a situation where he could really take an opportunity and find himself starting week 1 for the Colts if Jonathan Taylor isn't there. Now, again, Deion Jackson, maybe he's earned that right because he's been here. He's had a couple of really good games as a starter, even when the Colts offense was absolute buns last year. But Evan Hull, the 5th-round rookie drafted this season from the Colts, seems like an absolute dog. Last week, there were no pads last week. So as a running back, you kind of take that with a grain of salt when you're hearing somebody showing out because he can just kind of keep on running after people two-hand touch him. That happens all the time. But I like what I heard today. When he got his opportunity with the second team, he was still making plays. And one of those plays included getting a catch and then trucking Kenny Moore. Now, granted, Kenny Moore is not the biggest guy. He's been trucked before plenty of times. But Evan Hull, not the biggest guy either. And he went, ran over Kenny, an established veteran, I mind you, getting ran over by the rookie. So Evan Hull keeps showing up and showing out in Colts camp. I really think that one way or another, he can make a big impact this year for the Colts, even if it's just that receiving back role. Jonathan Taylor does play. And when Zach Moss does come back in, week 2, maybe week 3, if it lingers on, I think that so far what Evan Hull has showed in camp has shown somebody that's probably going to find himself having a role in this offense. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the preseason. Because again, we kind of know what Deion Jackson brings. He's an absolute dog as well. But at the moment, what we thought was going to be a little bit of a stacked running back room is starting to deplete right now. Not sure if we're going to have Jonathan Taylor. Zach Moss out for the preseason. Probably not going to be there for week 1. Maybe not there for week 2. But Deion Jackson and Evan Hull are still good to go. We're going to keep monitoring this situation on this channel. Of course, anything that happens with Jonathan Taylor, we're going to try to keep you updated on it. And hey, maybe the Colts are going to go out and sign a running back like Kareem Hunt, as I suggested a few days ago. Seems like the perfect opportunity to maybe bring a guy in. So you let me know what you think about the current state of the Colts running backs and what should we do? What do you think we should do going into the preseason and into week 1? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and keep coming back for more Colts content. I'll see you for the next video.